What a beautiful stripped down arrangement of New Mistake that was. And I have with me that very same wonderful, talented singer of the band Barleycove. I have with me Laura. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing? How are you doing? You okay?
Doing well, thank you.
So, I mean, obvious question. Where did you discover Jellyfish?
It was junior high school. I was fortunate to have parents that had MTV, and I'd watch it every day before school. And The King is Half Undressed came on, and I think I begged my mom, take me to the record store. And I had a cassette tape with a, little insertion that was just fun to discover. And I listened to that nonstop. I still have it right here. Same original cassette. And
I was going to say those are your originals on the on the video. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, being in the UK, and I mean being younger as well, because I didn't discover Jellyfish until 2007. Didn't know they existed. Wow. I'm guessing it can't be understated how much MTV was important for Jellyfish in terms of exposure. Yes,
and it was something that today I wish they'd had more exposure, but I'm thankful that at least I caught it. I don't think they played them on heavy rotation, but if you were a kid like me, that was like your internet back then. MTV was like our addiction, and you had XTC also coming out about that time. So a lot of good stuff was kind of filtering through MTV, which is kind of amazing when I reflect now on what, kind of mainstream music has become.
So at the time when you discovered Jellyfish, what were your tastes, and were they influencing you at that point as a pianist and as a musician?
Well, I think it's kind of funny. I was a metalhead.
Really? Okay.
Metal, so I was kind of coming out of that phase, and now I think my subconscious picked up on how good they were. Like they had the Beach Boys melodies going on and Beatles reminiscent arrangements and Simon and Garfunkel type lyrics that I was fortunate to have parents who raised me all this great music. And I think Jellyfish just kind of brought that into my consciousness again. So because it's just a higher level of music. And now I appreciate it so much more. And you see the hard work that they've put into what was created rather than it being haphazard,
So was piano your main instrument then? Because I guess being a metalhead, it doesn't kind of compute, if you get what I mean.
It does. Piano is always my favorite, but I think some guitarists, you can tell they've had classical training with their arrangements. In the metal music, Metallica, Kirk Hammett, I really liked his work, and I think it was very kind of classical at times, his arrangements. So I think that might have been the draw for me to metal.
So are there any other bands from around the time that you discovered Jellyfish who fit that sort of mold, or like to you, did they really stand out compared to everything else? Because there were bands like Red Cross as well, but from your point of view, being there at the time, how unique were Jellyfish?
It was for me, it was very unique. It was my favorite standard go-to, and it was just different for me. But I see now how my taste from that point onward were influenced by Jellyfish. There's a band called Guster I recommend for Jellyfish fans. Jump Little Children, they kind of fill in that same great harmonies, great arrangements in music. So I just see how my tastes were influenced by Jellyfish from that point on.
Well, I tell people as well that one of the greatest gifts that Jellyfish gave to me wasn't just their music, but it was all the music that they introduced me to, like XTC and ELO.
Yes.
You know, I knew the hits, but I didn't really deep dive on a lot of that stuff. And Badfinger, and you know, when you look at the bands that they covered as well, even the you know, like the Archies and you know, all the cartoons that they were influenced by as well, and Sid and Marty Krofft and all that kind of thing. You know, being from Newcastle in England, you know, we don't get things like Sid and Marty Krofft here. And you know, I've had to I've blown people's minds with some of that, like Lidsville and stuff like that. And
you're a great ambassador. You can
more people have found out about Jellyfish from me in my local area than probably anyone else. So when you discovered Jellyfish, did you have musician friends or anyone else who fell for them as well, or were you kind of convincing people, look, you've got to listen to these guys?
Yes. I feel like you know, trying to proselytize and preach the gospel of Jellyfish. So definitely, and I still do it today. Someone asked me at work, "What are you listening to?" And I'm like, Jellyfish, and they're like, who? So my own family didn't believe me about Jellyfish, and I had to pull these out of the archives. So, and I think Licorice Quartet is how I actually went down Jellyfish rabbit hole during quarantine and found all the live things, like the New Mistake version that's live and the Badfinger cover that's amazing, and found out about the Licorice Quartet from the comments of Jellyfish fans. So that was kind of cool. I like how you also created a page where people share music that they think other Jellyfish fans would like. So I think that's really neat how the community you've built and just the people who like Jellyfish just seem really cool, and they're really laid back and love music. And it's just kind of a beautiful community you've created too on the fan page. So kudos to you for this.
Well, I appreciate it, but I always say that because there were pages there before me as well, like the Jelly L page and all the old Yahoo groups, all that kind of stuff, you know, way back in yonder. But I guess this one maybe has lasted longer because I don't know, maybe I have too much time on that. But no, it is an amazing thing. And I have to thank people like Brittany, who runs the Andy Sturmer fan page. And,
yes,
you know,
that's a good one too.
It's become and there's a new Grays page that celebrates all the music of all the band members. And, you know, we have a little network going on as well. And, you know, it's all about helping each other. And, you know, there was a time on the page where people would angrily message me going, "Oh, this band doesn't sound like Jellyfish," and I'm just like, you know, but I don't want people to not recommend people music. So I was just like, look, just add a little Jelly context in your post, and it'll be fine, and then it can be defended, you know, because I like I said, Jellyfish have introduced me to all kinds of bands who aren't even remotely sounding like Jellyfish. Because if you look at the bands that Rogers say sessioned on or whatever, you know, so the umbrella of their work is, or their oeuvre of, you know, session work is huge. So there's a lot of avenues and a lot of things that can be posted for recommendations and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, I'll ask about you.
No.
So Barleycove, where does that come from? Because it's a place in Ireland, isn't it?
Yes, it's kind of an ode to my family's heritage, and also I love a lot of musicians from Ireland, like Damien Rice, Glenn Hansard, Lisa Hannigan. And I did want to go by my name, and unfortunately I haven't, because it's changed quite a few times in years. So
and we'll brush over that very quickly. Yeah.
I wanted kind of a thing like Fleetwood Mac, where people might come in and out of the band, and that's exactly what's happened. It's just kind of whoever at the moment is ready to work with me is kind of what it is. But I just kind of want to invoke a sense of peace, and that it's the most beautiful place in Ireland, so they say. I'd love to go, but that's kind of why I went with the name rather than my name.
And a lot of the music, if I'm correct, it's more folk centric, and I guess more traditional sort of styles, more like so.
It's kind of a folk rock, kind of based on, again, the people who've influenced me. Anita Franco and Patty Griffin have been huge influences. So kind of singer-songwriter-y vibe.
Mm-hmm. So do you have any specific heroes as a singer-songwriter?
I do, and he's local, and I was fortunate to take a workshop with him, and his name's Edwin McCain. He sang that song a long time ago called I'll Be, and they've redone it on Glee and all kinds of, The Office. Andy does a version, So he had a songwriting, and it's a class where we would all go, and it's just people who love the craft, not looking for fame, fortune. We just want to be better. And he also introduced me to Maya Sharp, who her father was Randy Sharp, and she's an amazing musician. So these two people kind of cultivated a class where we all became friends, and it was just lovely. And a lot of those people ended up helping me on my latest album. So those are two of my huge influences I've been able to work with. And then recently I was able to work with Eric Dover of the Licorice Quartet on a song. And I think I shared that, and everybody was so nice on the Jellyfish page, but he's also been a huge influence lately on my music. And it's just been such a wonderful experience to work with someone, you admired young, to work with them now.
Yeah. So. And this, so, what's the word? Not diverse, but they're so able to adapt to different styles and add an aura of authenticity behind it as well, because they love so many different styles of music that, yes. There's nothing fake about what they do when they session on someone's work. They have such a wide knowledge of styles that they are huge fans of. And you can tell that they're just absolute students.
Oh, yes. Yes. Modern day composers of our time, I would say they're all geniuses in their own right. And, we become better by working with people with such high standards, it makes us better musicians. Yeah. And an experience too, right? Didn't you do some work with them as well for your music?
Yeah, I've been lucky to do little bits with Eric and with Roger as well. And above all, above the talent and everything, they are patient and they are kind and they offer advice. And they're wonderful people, and we are here to celebrate them. So
we are.
Before we look into where we can find your music and what's coming up next, what led you to want to record New Mistake for your performance?
Well, it's the top of my list of the Jellyfish songs, and it just kind of reminded me of being young again, just to sing that. Same I did in my bedroom. I'm not going to say how many years ago, but you can do the math. But yeah, it just kind of, that's why I think we love Jellyfish. It's just it just brings out a positive happiness that, and that's why so many of us love music. It just gets you through some of those rough patches. So I just try to convey a simplicity.
And it's a bit of a cliche, but a standard of what makes a good song is if it can be stripped down and played with one instrument and still sound amazing. And you do an incredible job of it as well. So
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Oh, seriously. Like the standard of musicianship throughout all of these performances has blown me away. And I didn't expect so many talented artists to. That's the thing about the Jellyfish, community. They want to be a part of stuff, and they think nothing of it, because I ask a lot of some of you guys as well, so I really appreciate it, because I just had a harebrained idea to put this together, and it can't be done without you guys. And like I say, your cover of New Mistake is wonderful. It really is.
Oh, thank you. Teared up a little bit. Where can we find your music, and what do you have coming up in the immediate future? Well, we just put out our second album, and we have a video coming out for one of our songs called She Kept On Walking. It's just kind of a cautionary tale about walking away from a bad relationship, which I think we all can relate to. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be coming out hopefully next month. And you can find us at barleycoveband.com. And
there'll be a thing
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, check us out. I'm thankful for any connections. And again, Jellyfish fans are the best and the kindest. And I love, again, learning from other fans about new music. I think that's one of the greatest gifts you can give people, when you can help them discover a band or artist that they would not have known. I think it's a wonderful gift.
It is. It really is. Oh, well.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, no, thank you.
So much fun.
So, Laura, I want to thank you again, and please check out Barleycove at the link below and everything. And yes, I want to thank everyone for continuing to tune into Jellyfest and take a look at what's coming up next.